This part will explain the user-defined functions. Like every other object in C, functions must be both declared and defined. The function declaration gives the whole picture of a function that needs to be defined later. The function definition contains the code for a function. So function must appear 3 times in a program. The first one is the declaration, the other one is the call, and the important one is the function definition, which gives the whole picture of a function. Now we have here to take note that the function name is used 3 times: declaration, call, and definition, as what I have said earlier. So this figure shows the three: function declaration, function call, and the function definition. We have here the first one is the function declaration. It's just like a function heading of a function definition, but with a semicolon after the statement. And we have here the main method. Usually the main method contains the function call of any function definition. So part of our main method is a function call for the function greeting. So on running the program, when the compiler have mm, found this statement, greeting function call, it will look for a function definition having a greeting function without a parameter. So we look for a function call having a a name greeting. So which is this one? Function greeting and without a formal parameter. Now, this function definition greeting will be examined by the compiler, and inside this function we have a statement to print the hello world. For printing, the flow program will go back to the main method and no other statements inside the main method but the return 0. Okay, so in which this return 0 specifies the return value of this main method of type integer. Okay, so this figure shows um, um, the three important, or which shows the three declaration, calling, and function definition of a function, which appears 3 in our program. Now, this figure shows a void function with parameters. Void function specifies a void keyword before the function name, okay, that will appear in a function declaration and a function definition. So we have here function declaration and a function definition. So we have a void keyword that is placed before the function name, print 1. And then after the the function name of this function is print 1. Okay, take note, this is case sensitive. So big O, which specifies the camel case, um, for naming the function name here, which specifies the, or which indicates the capital letter of the second word of the function name. So it must be big O. So therefore, your function call, your function definition must be the same. Function declaration, print 1, function call, print 1, and function definition, print 1. So this function declaration contains a parameter of an integer type. Okay, so we have here int x, and also the function definition contains the one parameter of an integer type. So this function declaration is for this function definition. Okay, and also this function called print1 is having a actual parameter or an actual parameter of 1, which is a, in which a is of type integer. So a, which is passed in this function call, so the value of a, which is 5, will be passed here. So upon running this program, okay, it will read this function call after this statement before. So once the interpreter will read this print1 function call having an actual parameter of an integer value, it will look for a function definition having a function name print1. So it will look for, and it happens to hear that there is no other function for this program but only one print1 having mm, a formal parameter of an integer type. So x here will receive a copy of the value being passed by the function call. So this x will receive the value of 5. Hence 5 is the value being passed by this function call as an actual parameter. So 5 here will be processed, and in this function definition is to print the value of x. Okay, so after printing the value of x, the interpreter will go back to the main method or the main function here and return 0 and end the program. That is why 5 is printed on the screen. Now, this program shows a void function with a parameter. Okay. Um, we have here a function, the program description, which demonstrates that one function can be called multiple times. Yeah, a function can be called multiple times. So we have here line 6, the preprocessor directives for the standard input output header. And we have here the function declaration at line 9 named print1. And line 14 is the local declarations of the variable a of type integer. Line 17 is a statement which assigns an initial value of a is 5. Line 18 is a function call of print1 function and pass the value of a as the actual parameter. So for this, the 5 value will be passed here, and value of a, which is 5, will be processed here and print. So we have the first function call will go to the function definition and display the value of x, which is 5. Now we have modified at line 20 the value of a. So the value of a will be modified to 33. And at line 21, this is a second function call for the print1 function and pass the value then the latest value of a, which is 33. So here, again, upon having this statement, interpreter will go to the print one function definition. So the value 33 will be passed here and will be processed here inside this function for the second time. So here is to print the value of x. So 33 will be printed. So in second line. So 33. Next, we have the printing the 33. We'll go back to here and no other statements but return 0, which is a necessary statement for the main method. Since our main method is of type integer, we need to return a value that is of type integer. That is why we have the results of 5 and 33. And also this function square appears on this program at least 3 times. We have the function declaration, function call, and the function definition and declaration. Okay, so in this function declaration, it is declaring a function that is of type which has a return type integer, function name of square, and has a single formal parameter of type integer. Okay, so in the main method, we have a local declarations of variables a and b in which they are both integer. And we have here the statements that will assign the value of an integer to the variable a. And we have here the statement that will assign the value being returned by this function call to the local variable b. Next is, since you have the function call of here, so the value being entered by the user will be passed here, and the interpreter will go and look for the function definition having a function name or having the same signature of this function call, the square um, the square function name, an integer formal parameter or an integer for a parameter, okay, and will return a value that is of type integer since b is of an integer type. So, for example, if the user will enter 5 here, okay, so the value 5 will be passed inside the square function. So here, upon looking for the function definition of a square function, this will receive the copy of the value being passed by a. So x now has a value of 5. So this will return the value of 5 times 5. So in this case, 5 times 5, okay, is equal to 25. So the value 25 will be returned to the main method, okay, or the main function. So since the value being returned by square will be assigned to b, so b now has a value 25. Then after that, we have here the printf statement to print the value of a squared, then the value of b. So it's expected that if you have 5 as the value of a, so we have 5 squared colon is 25. And that ends our program. So this is the general syntax for the function definition. We have here the function header, which specifies the return type, next space, then followed by a function name. Then we have the open and close parentheses. Inside the open and close parentheses, we may have the formal parameter list. Then to specify the starting of the function, we have the open brace. And to specify the end of this function, which is uh, the partner of this opening brace is the closing curly brace. Inside this function definition, we may have the local declarations and of course the statements. Now the function return statements, we have here an integer which specifies the function return type should be explicitly defined. If you are um, having to return the value of that is of type integer, and if you have the void return type, you don't need to specify the mm, value type to return, only the return statement. So here the return statement should be used if even if nothing is returned, but it is not a requirement. Now for the function local variables, we have here the local variable which is a sum name and a data type of double. So this will receive a copy of a value having a decimal parts. And here we have here the two formal parameters x and y. These are the two values that will receive from the calling functions. We have to take note that formal and actual parameters are necessary for the function call, function definition, and the function declaration. Take note that formal parameters are variables that are declared in the header of the function definition. Again, these are the formal parameters. So here, we have here the formal parameters, int x, comma, int y. And the actual parameters are the expressions in the calling statements. Actual parameters are the expressions, just like here. Okay, the formal actual parameters are here. You have the function call square with a parameter a, so this is the actual parameter. You may have a single value or an expression, or a variable here, or an expression or an exact value. Formal and actual parameters must match exactly in type, order, and number. So, for example, if you have the mm, order of a formal and actual parameters of an integer, it must be consistent. Okay, and their names, however, do not need to match. Yeah. So, for example, we have here a function declaration int multiply it parameters int multiplier comma int multiplicand. So this function will return a value that is of type integer and has formal parameters of integer and integer. Okay, so the function definition must be an integer return type, must have the function name of multiply, and a formal parameters order of an integer and integer. So therefore, the function call must be passing an actual parameter of an integer value. Okay, and also the function definition must receive a must define the formal parameters of type integer and integer. It doesn't matter if the names are not the same. Like here in the function definition, it uses an x and y. And in the function declaration, it uses multiplier and multiplier. It's not necessary to use the same formal parameters name.